Hey, this is Purple Haze, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, being joined by the Bay Area MVP known as Will. Will, how you doing?
All I gotta say is 6 letters, new gimmick. Letters, anyone?
Well, guys and gals, what Will's talking about? Well, you're going to find out as we review Impact Wrestling for the week of February 13th, 2014. I'm sorry, I'm getting my ears kind of confused. It's 14. But it was, to me, before we get started, I'm just going to say, very overall, the show was really good. Really good. Now, a lot of people have mixed reactions to certain parts of it, but let's go ahead and get started. We had Dixie Carter and Magnus and Company in the ring. They started kind of, bad-mouthing MVP and whatnot in their reactions. And MVP, said, on the wrestling hierarchy, I'm up here. MVP, you're down here. MVP didn't take too much in kind, and he came out with Samoa Joe making the official announcement that at the Lockdown pay-per-view, and notice he said pay-per-view, that Magnus will be defending the title against Samoa Joe. And, if they keep true to the Lockdown gimmick, it's going to be inside the steel cage. And then Gunner comes out and says, you know what, you may not even be champion by that time, because in 1 week's time, I'm going to cash in my title shot against you next week. And Dixie Carter said, hold on, you may not even have that at that time, because I'm putting you in a match against EC3 with your briefcase on the line. And MVP countered that by saying, you know what, we're going to take EC3's briefcase, Gunner's briefcase, hang him up high, and involve a ladder, making it a ladder match. And if anybody interfered, MVP would level the playing field. So, opening up with a ladder match, Will, really got me excited.
They're taking a lot of good direction here. I mean, we have noticed not a lot of companies open up with a ladder match, but I like MVP's. Can't think of the word right now, but yeah, his mindset's good. I mean, who would have thought ladder match to begin this match? And I like this. I want to see the relevance of it going forward, but I do like it. Man, just you think, in that Manchester crowd. Let's not forget about the Manchester crowd. Oh man, just unbelievable.
Well, as we progress into the match, it was kind of without a doubt that there was going to be interference, and of course Magnus came out to attack Gunner to prevent him from going up to the briefcase. Then Cowboy James Storm came out to make the save, and of course MVP then levels the playing field. It is now case versus case tag team ladder match, winner take all. And I gotta say, that made it even better.
Oh yeah, it made it a whole lot better. I mean, James Storm and Gunner, good tag team last year. I still think they're a formidable tag team now. And like you said, MVP was going to watch how to monitor, and anything happens, he was going to level the playing field. He was not joking. So this match came about, and you know what, Billy, if you looked at it, when EC3 went up to the ladder, Magnus pulled him down. So yeah. Disagreement, may have been disdain. I don't know about you, but I'm giving it a 3.5. I like the match, but the bickering was a little bit too much, though. But we have your winners of James Storm and Gunner.
Yeah, especially when Gunner grabs the briefcase and he comes down with it. The whole line comes down with him. I don't know if that was supposed to. Yeah, I don't know if that was. Yeah, he was probably supposed to fall. I don't think the line was supposed to go with him. That's what happened. But it was still a great way to open up Impact Wrestling. I will give you that as well. Up next on Impact Wrestling last night, guys, we had a backstage segment, Bromance confronting Rockstar Spud. They were not happy of the fact that Gunner and Storm now possess the tag team title shot briefcase from Feast of Fire in lieu of the win they had just previously. When MVP comes out and decides that he's going to put them in a 6-man tag. He tells them 2 of their opponents. It was the 2 new guys that they signed, Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, the Wolves. But wasn't going to tell them who their other opponent was going to be. You have to wait until they got into the ring for that, and it turns out to be Samoa Joe. And well, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts about the in-ring debut of Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, the Wolves?
Oh, man. Well, they looked a lot faster and a lot better. In Ring of Honor, you can't take away their accomplishments from Ring of Honor, despite a little bit of a backlash towards the end of their contracts. But towards this match, they look the same. I think they got a new moveset, and they're very in sync if you think about it. But I liked it. But having Samoa Joe as their partner, who would have asked for more?
That question I asked you, I also asked everyone on the Facebook page, and we did get at least one reply from Justin Lippman on the Facebook page during Impact last night. He said he likes him. So the Wolves definitely do have a ton of potential, for those Ring of Honor fans out there who are very familiar with them, who are glad to see them, getting into the bigger and bigger companies, that they really have the talent to make it. And I think they do. They do have the talent to make it. The 6-man tag, let's just say Samoa Joe and the Wolves were hungry and they kind of feasted on Bromance and Zema Ion. That's all we're going to put. We're going to put it like that. It was Samoa Joe officially with the Kikita clutch on Zema Ion, forcing him to tap out. Now, backstage, Velvet Sky went to Dixie Carter about this match he was supposed to have with Chris Sabin, and Dixie, in a way, kind of mocking MVP, saying, you know what, you can't sit on your butt and back here and expect to earn a paycheck. You got to go out there and wrestle. And that kind of leads to MVP and Rockstar Spud kind of having a little confrontation, which led to MVP putting himself in a match against Rockstar Spud. Let's just say, one of the things I said on the Facebook page last night is someone needed to prepare a eulogy for Rockstar Spud and his wardrobe that he had on that night, because he probably soiled himself. Anyway, Abyss calling out Eric Young to confront him about what he did, especially last night last week, I should say, with the Monsters Ball match. We also, the unmasking. He wanting to prove that Abyss and Joseph Park, well, we already knew. And it was kind of an interesting segment. Well, I think at one point that he said that he can't do what Abyss did because of his conscience. I think that's what he said.
Conscience. That's a word I've implemented. But you know what, though? I'm just going to get straight to the point on this one. This promo admittedly creeped me out. I mean, we didn't think that it would go the way it did on that line. I mean, Eric Young looked like he didn't want to get into the ring. He thought he did his job, but you know what? He went into the ring. He got into Abyss's face, Joseph Park's face, and just, tried to say, you know what? I tried to help you. You are your brother. I define crazy, whatever you want to put. But at the end, as we see, and I'm going to quote this to make sure our fans at WGS-TV really understand, he said, I want to find someone that can understand me. And me and James, we had a debate about who is the person that can really understand them. There's been a lot of names thrown out, but we'll do it another time. But I like the promo. I'll give it a 4. Creeped out, but I like how it went. I really did.
Well, it was interesting that you brought that up, because I brought that up on the Facebook page during Impact last night. Justin Lippman said, if I was booking, it'd be James Mitchell, the sinister minister himself, just what Abyss needs. And Stevenette Bonnie Boo McClary on Facebook said, please God, let it be James Mitchell. A lot of fans wanted to be James Mitchell, but the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV brought up another option to me, but we'll get to it and talk about it when we get to it in the review. So, a lot of names being thrown out there, but the most recognizable one is indeed James Mitchell due to his ties with Abyss, I should say, in the past. And I would say I would not be adverse to seeing him back, because the dude is a good talent. He's got great mic skills. He knows how to work a promo, knows how to work the crowd. But up next, MVP and Rockstar Spud. Boy, would you just call this just a flat-out ass-kicking, Will?
More like Rockstar Spud should have ate his Wheaties or some spinach like Popeye. I mean, come on. Do we really got to talk about this?
Not really. As MVP hit a version of the drive-by kick on Rockstar Spud to get the win. But now, last night on TNA, guys and gals, we had the promo for The Willow. And I know a lot of fans out there are wondering, why are we hearing Jeff Hardy's voice? Why are we seeing Jeff Hardy dressed up like this? Let me give you a little background information into this character, this gimmick that you guys saw a promo from last night, Willow. Will-O-the-Wisp is a character gimmick that he ran and developed in the Omega Company that he and his brother Matt Hardy had started in the Carolinas. It was a indie promotion that they started before they went into the WWF, now known as WWE. And this has always been a gimmick that Hardy always used. WWE never let him use it. TNA's going to see fit to let him use it, but here's the thing though. We've seen what happened with Tensai in the WWE, with his familiarity, everyone knowing him from his previous gimmicks as A-Train and Albert, which kind of killed what the Lord Tensai gimmick should have been, being a monster heel in the WWE. And look what he's doing now. He was dancing. Does the familiarity, Will, of Jeff Hardy kill the Willow gimmick? Or can they make the Willow gimmick work?
To be very, very honest, like I probably said to James, I really don't know if it will tie to who he is today. But as we know, like you mentioned, his gimmick was developed in Omega with his brother, and it's supposed to be about a creepy guy. But it's like bringing yin and yang together, if you want to put it in perspective. And I don't know, will it work? I hope it will. I hope it does. It was creepy at first, but if it ties to to what he was before, I hope it can. I don't like to be negative on certain things, but I really hope it could work. Down the stretch, hopefully.
Well, I did ask the Facebook fans last night during Impact Wrestling what they thought of Jeff Hardy bringing his Omega character to TNA, and we did get a couple of responses. One person said, well, I'm sorry, I missed it, so I can't give an opinion. Justin Lippman said, I don't think it'll make a difference to anyone. Fans will just see it as Jeff Hardy being weird again, and the character itself won't even be noticed as being a distinct character from Jeff himself. I think if they can properly work the Willow gimmick, if we could start to see some sort of direction as to where it's going, because we don't know where TNA is going to take the Willow gimmick. We just saw one vignette, one promo. It's just him in the woods talking about, the reasons for his existence and the reasons for his death. And of course, we also heard Jeff Hardy's famous, I guess we could call it now, our infamous Joker laugh, I guess we could call it. I think that would be the best way to describe it, well, as, he was laughing like the Joker from Batman.
And the scary one it was. I mean, like I just stated, it's creepy. Willow's colors is black and white, like I stated, the colors of the yin-yang effect. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would look for new things to go forward in a company that is TNA today, but, will it work? I hope it does. I mean, like you mentioned, you don't want things to downfall, but, we could talk about many other gimmicks, in other companies that are just as similar, but we'll save that for another show. But, just to end it, I hope it works. That umbrella looks scary if you looked at it. And, I want to see it go forward. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I look forward to the future promos featuring Willow and, of course, to his TNA debut. So, on that note, we go up to, Chris Sabin had officially challenged Velvet Sky to a match. And Sabin trying to egg her on into fighting him, and never turn your back on a woman, because next thing you know, you're going to get a shot in the yam bag. Because that's exactly what happened. But then we saw a very large woman appear in the ring, attacking Velvet Sky and putting her in a full Nelson. And from what other people have told me, that her indie wrestling name, and I could be wrong, but I'm just going on with what other people have told me here, is Alpha Female. I don't know if Tina will be using that name, but that was the name she was using on the Independents. So I don't know the validity of that information, but that's what I'm going to go on right now. TNA has yet to officially name her, or maybe they did on Impact 365 here on YouTube. Who knows? But let's talk about what was probably contender for best match of the night. Will, the casket match, Bully Ray and Mr. Anderson. Now, when they first debuted the concept for this match between Bully Ray and Anderson, I knew right off the bat that, they can really work it. We've seen great matches from Bully Ray and Anderson. That casket match really, to me, kind of topped off the feud between these two guys. What do you say?
Oh, man. What else can you say? This match was, I think, in my mind, the best one. Look at how the match was built. I just didn't think it would carry on since the death of the Aces and Eights. But, Bill, I'm going to throw you a question. Did you think this is a good match?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. There were a lot of great spots in this match. Like I said, it was very well done. We saw all kinds of objects being used, and at one point, the finish of this match, guys, was Bully Ray attempted a pile driver inside the casket, in which Mr. Anderson countered into the mic check. And, of course, with the lid already being off, all I had to do was just place the lid on him. TNA, for future references, when you do casket matches, make sure that the casket is big enough for both people. Bully Ray, I thought that was funny as hell that, you're supposed to close the lid, and they can't close the lid on Bully Ray because he doesn't fit. He does not fit. I thought that was just absolutely hilarious on TNA's part. But let's look at the final segment. Backstage, Dixie Carter attempting to buy out MVP's shares from being the investor and getting control. MVP says, you know what, I want control, and tears up that little check that Dixie Carter gave him, and then proposed a lethal lockdown match, Team MVP versus Team Dixie. The winning team gets their person gets full control, and Dixie Carter said no to it. But one would only think it would be a matter of time if there was really another good selling point that I would think that TNA would need for lockdown buys. It would have to be Team MVP versus Team Dixie for Lethal Lockdown, Will.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I already know the Team Dixie because Dixie Carter doesn't have many friends. So let's play a little role, shall we? Team Dixie would have to consist of TNA World Champion Magnus, Rockstar Spud, EC3, and maybe one of the members of Team Bromance since they like Dixie. And for Team MVP, it would be him, Samoa Joe, and the Wolves. I don't know. Think about it.
We couldn't count Bobby Roode in this equation anywhere.
Yeah, or throw in Gunner. You know, Gunner likes MVP, so you know a lot of possibilities.
And for those of you who didn't know, Bobby Roode got thrown out by Dixie's security last night during Impact. So you never know. You never know what's going on with that one. But anyway, guys, unfortunately, no fan reviews this week of Impact Wrestling. But again, if you guys just send in your reviews to facebook.com/WGS-TV after each and every show. We will read your reviews out loud here on the official review here on WGS-TV. So let's go into our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling was indeed, like I said at the onset of this review, guys, a very well done show. You know, the fact that, you know, we had a debut of a new gimmick for, you know, of sorts in the Willow, you know, that's really sparking a lot of interest. The casket match was just unbelievably awesome, which is best match of the night, in my opinion. It's really, you know, there are a couple of things I could say, but what I'm really going to say is the whole thing with Sabin and Velvet Sky. I really, you know, I didn't, you know, other than the point, you know, there's one thing you should know for certain guys and gals, you know, despite my current situation. If you don't follow me on Facebook, I'm not even going to say it on here. You don't dump someone that hot as Velvet Sky. And you don't treat her bad either. And that's what happened. Other than that, I gotta give TNA this week a 4 out of 5. It was actually that good of a show. Because like I said, they had a lot of high points in this match, including the debut of the Wolves. That's another thing, too. The debut of the Wolves in the ring for TNA, like I said, they did not disappoint. And probably only a matter of time before we see them as new TNA World Tag Team Champions. Just a matter of time. Well, what about you? What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling?
You know what? For once, this one was very interesting. I'm actually going to give this a 4. I mean, let's see. Best match, like I already said, was the Bully Ray, Mr. Anderson casket match. Worst match, I don't want to sound like a fool in this one, and we'll probably be hated on it, but since we are honest here on WGS-TV, I'm going to say Rockstar Spud getting his ass whooped by MVP. And, you know, I mean, it looked like he needed a prayer, a tic-tac, a diaper, something. Best segment is the Willow one. Worst segment, I hate to say it, Bobby Roode getting kicked out because, I mean, he flipped out. I think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers in TNA. He's good. He's very athletic, but I don't think that they're really taking full potential of him. And yeah, overall, I'll give it a 4. First time I gave TNA a 4.
Well, the incomparable Lance Moss TV knew he was going to be absent from this review, but he did send his review via Facebook. Here's what he had to say. Well, I got to say this is one of the best impacts in a while so far. Overall, I'd give it a 3.9. Best match, I'll give it to the confront match, although there really wasn't a bad match in the entire show. Best segment is a tie between the vignette for Willow and the in-ring segment between Abyss and Eric Young. I kind of gotta agree with him onto that point, onto that segment. Worse, and says worst match. Though it was a good segment, I had to choose. I'd go with the intergender match, sort of, between Velvet, he has in parentheses, nice ass Sky, and Chris L. Douchebag Sabin. And the worst segment is the sit-down between MVP and Dixie Carter. This segment kept the show from being a 4 or a 4.5, but God, Dixie's bad acting just ruined it for me. Well, Lance has always been, like everyone here, been really hard on the Dixie Carter gimmick, and so far, yeah, he's right. Everyone's right. Dixie Carter is just not doing it. Just not doing it. But what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Impact Wrestling this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling? We want to hear from you guys out there, especially you, Ecstasy 69. I know you're always listening into our reviews here on WGS-TV. We really want to know especially what you thought of the Willow gimmick being brought into TNA. And what did you think of the casket match? So we definitely want to hear from guys like Ecstasy 69, Trauma, all you guys out there. We want to hear from you guys. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. The Bay Area MVP, known as Will, makes his residence on the hood on U-Vlog. Will, you got anything coming up?
Nothing really, Billy. Just, I'm looking forward to the Willow gimmick, and this weekend I'm just going to kick it with my nephew, play Black Ops 2, and we are going to watch SmackDown. So, I'll be down for the SmackDown review on Saturday. So, I'll definitely be watching. Heard some good matches, and, I'm really looking forward to watching it. Really am.
And don't forget about checking us out during the live coverage of SmackDown tonight on Facebook.com/WGS-TV. Be sure you give that page a like, and don't forget to please subscribe to YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and YouTube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, and everyone on the Facebook page, and so it's actually the incomparable Lance Moss for sending in his review, I'm the WrestleGamer, Dylan B. Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching. Agent Lee